can.
Yes. All right. All right. So thank you again for joining us for our literacy night. Literacy matters, putting all the puzzle pieces together. My name is Miss Purefoy, and I am your K2 literacy coach. Our 3-5 literacy coach is Miss Donald. She could not be here with us today, but we're going to go over our new curriculums for literacy in grades K through 5. All right, so let's start out with our literacy curriculums. This year in Fulton County, we adopted all new literacy curriculums for grades K through 5. Grades K through 2, we have Hegarty, which is a daily phonemic awareness program that goes over skills that set the foundation for reading. In K through 3, we have 95 Core, which is our literacy program that focuses on phonics skills. Each day in 95 Core, the students participate in daily phonics lessons that expose students to phonics and morphology patterns. And then we have Vocabulary Surge, which is our curriculum in grades 4 through 5 that has students participate in daily lessons that introduce them to prefixes, suffixes, and Greek and Latin roots. And this program actually gives students a chance to be exposed to different vocabulary strategies so that we can expand their vocabularies and help with their comprehension. And then in grades K through 5, we have our Wonders curriculum, and students participate in daily lessons in Wonders that expose them to rich informational and literary texts to teach our comprehension standard. All right. And now we want to give you a little peek into what our students think of what they're learning in literacy. So let's hear from our students about what they are learning. We're going to start with our kindergarten baby. All right, so those are just little snippets from our babies to give an idea of what they're practicing in Heritage 95 Core and Wonders. But now we're going to take a deeper dive into each curriculum because we really think it's important, parents, that you know what the students are actually doing in their literacy lessons so that you can be aware and actually be a part of that practice at home. So, our first part of our literacy curriculum is, of course, phonological awareness. That sets the foundation for reading. What is it? Phonological awareness is the awareness and ability to work in, excuse me, to work with sounds in spoken language. And we start out with phonological awareness practice every day because this lays the foundation for decoding skills, blending skills, and ultimately reading words, which is our goal. We want our students to become strong readers. What does it look like in action? So I'm going to give you just a little snippet of what the teachers do and what the students participate in our phonological awareness practice. And I want you, if you can, to join in by turning on your mic and answering along. Okay, so are we ready? All right. So, boys and girls, I am going to say a word and I want you to repeat the word. Then I'm going to tell you to take a part of the word out and you tell me what's left. So I'll give you an example. The teacher would say anyway, and the students would say, repeat that word anyway. And then I'll say, without any, what's left is, and the students would say way. Okay, so now let's try one together. Say headache.
Headache.
Anyone? Headache. Okay, thank you. Now, without head, the word is
Ache.
ache. Very good. Say headphones.
Headphones.
Without head, what's left is
Phones.
very good. One more. Say headlight.
Headlight.
Without head, what's left is
Light.
very good. So this is just an example of.
Very good. So this is just an example of.
I hear an echo. Do you guys hear an echo? I'm sorry. Do I have an echo on my end? Okay,
No, you're
so
fine.
this
You're fine.
okay, this is an example of a kindergarten phonemic awareness practice, and it gives them practice again with um, deleting or substituting phonemes and syllables so that they can have a strong foundation when they read words in print. All right. And of course, anything that we practice or teach, we want to assess to see how they're doing with this. So how do we know that they know it? This is an example of a phonemic awareness check where the student and teacher will work one-on-one, and the teacher will give them practices like the one we just did, but we do it on a script. So the teacher would say bookcase, and now the student will say bookcase, and then you say, now say bookcase, but don't say book. And of course, the student, if they have acquired the skill, they'll say case. All right. So we're going to try one together. Everyone say sunset. Anyone say sunset.
Sunset.
All right.
Sunset.
Now say sunset without sun.
Set.
All right. And so we check there to make sure they have it, and we move on to the next one. So it's just a little simple check-in like that to let us know if they are acquiring each skill. All right. And then we move on to phonics. And phonics is where we actually use graphemes or the actual print letters to match with sounds and decode words. Hold on. All right. So what is phonics? It's the ability to verbally match sounds to letters or groups of letters in print. What does it look like in action? All right. This is our 95 core phonics curriculum, and this is where we participate in phonics skills, and we learn new phonics patterns each day. All right. The same skill is taught for a week, and then students have a spelling test over that phonics pattern. You may have heard, about the phonics. You should have heard about the phonics pattern that we're focusing on each week in our weekly newsletter so that the students can practice at home. I'm not going to go through the entire lesson because it's kind of lengthy, but I just want to give you the gist of what happens during that time. So the students will see a screen that looks like this, and the teacher will tell them about the new phonics pattern that they'll be going over. This week is vowel teams, two or more letters side by side that are pronounced as one vowel sound. And there's a gesture that we do so that the students can have some type of kinetic practice so that to attach to each phonics pattern that we're learning. All right. In this particular lesson, we're doing the vowel team OO. And as you can see, there are two separate ways to pronounce that vowel team. And we want to tell the students to try the most common way first. So this is OO as in moon. So it will make the oo sound. And this is OO as in book. So it will make the sound. And so we take each word that has the OO vowel team and practice with the first most common sound. If it doesn't make sense, then we practice with that next sound. So you see here with the first phrase, it says broke my foot. So we want to call attention to the word with the OO vowel team, which is right here. And if the student does not know the word, we try with the first sound. If it makes ooh and in moon, as in moon, then it would say food. Now, does food make sense? No, that doesn't make sense. So then we try with the next sound or the next choice, which is as in book. So we'd say foot. Now does foot make sense? Yeah, so we use that along with the context, of the sentence or phrase to decide that foot would go here. All right. So does anyone want to try number 2? Took a nap. What word will we focus on here? Which word has our vowel team? Took a nap. We're focusing on the vowel team OO.
Took.
I'm gonna call on someone. Is that
Okay.
okay? Simone Beasley.
Yes.
All right, number 2. What word will we focus on with our spelling pattern for the week?
Took.
Okay, well, you know the word, but in the case,
So
if we didn't know the word, we would say the first word. Yeah, that's okay, Mom. And so then we look for the most common pattern or sound, and would be oo as in moon. So we will pronounce ook, a nap. Does ook, a nap, make sense?
No.
No. So what will we do?
Go to the in book.
Very good. And what would the word be then?
Took.
Very good. Yes. And so this is what students do in their 95 core phonics practice. All right. Any questions so far about what the practice looks like?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through there, and then this is an example of what the actual assessment looks like. So after the unit is over for each phonics unit, they take an end of unit exam. All right. And the test, this is an example of a second grade exam. And once you, I'm sorry, I can see. Once the once the students start the test, there's a teacher script. The teacher reads the script out loud. They go through a practice round, just like the way we just did, and then they actually finish the rest of the assessment on their own. So I just want to give you an example of what it looks like. This is the script up top, and then down here where it says now is your turn, this is where the students will actually have the exercise or the to show what they know on the test. And as you can see, it's exactly like we practiced in our lessons. Okay. All right. So now we're going to move forward to our vocabulary. Again, in 4th and 5th grade, the students participate in vocabulary search. Vocabulary is the ability to define words based on affixes or word parts and roots. What does it look like in action? All right. So the students will get example sentences, or the teacher will give an example sentence like this one. And then it'll have a column for working definitions of Latin roots or whichever root that we're working on, a rationale for the working definition, and then a certified definition. And all this is done so we can try to expose our students to as many strategies for vocabulary to try to help them increase their vocabulary so that they have a higher level of comprehension when they're reading tests. So this example says, I have confidence in the encyclopedia as a credible source with trusted facts. All right. And the working definition is cred, or something trusted to or to be believed in. And then the rationale, for the working definition, the word trusted is a clue. Something trusted is believed. Something incredible is unbelievable. All right. And then here we have the certified definition. Cred means to believe. All right. Let's see. All right, so let's try this one at the bottom. I will listen to the audio clip of a new song later. All right. She spoke so softly, her voice was inaudible. The sound on my iPod was loud enough to be audible to my mother. All right. So the Latin root is odd. What do we think odd would mean based on the sentences? Okay. I think I heard someone try to answer. I'm not sure, but I'll go ahead. It means that you can hear. All right. The word listen is the clue in this sentence, and the words spoke and softly are the clue words in this sentence. And down here, the words sound and loud are clue words. All right. So all of these are clue words to let us know that the meaning of this Latin root is to be able to hear. All right, or to hear or listen. Any questions about what vocabulary search? And this is just a small snippet of the actual lesson. We have any questions about what vocabulary search looks like or that practice? Okay.
So Miss Purefoy, before we go on, I know we have someone else that just joined us, and she's joining from phone. If you could just let us know who you are and your child or children that attend, we want to give you credit, so we want to put it in the chat. So we had someone else to just join us with a 3, 4. I can't see the rest of the number right now, but there's an individual that just joined us. Okay, and yeah, I see you're unmuted. So who are?
Good night. My name is Lafia Graham, and I'm Lawton Forbes' mom.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So again, when you have a question, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. All right. So again, whenever we teach a skill, we have the students practice the skill together as a group, and then we have them practice independently. And we also want to make sure we check for understanding by giving some type of assessment. So how do we know they know it? With vocabulary search, we have an exercise where they check for meaning. All right. So this is an example of what that looks like. Determine which of the Latin roots in the word box correctly complete the sentences below. Circle the clue or clue words that helped you to determine which prefix to use, and then you can refer to the example. So here are the roots, and the students will have sentences, and they would use context clues in the sentence to decide what root word fits. Okay, so number 1 says, I ordered new glasses after my blank test. So would special go there, odd, or viz?
Viz.
All right, let's try number 2. He needed an blankatory test when he couldn't hear the radio. What would go there? Odd, right? And what would be our clue word for that?
The hear part.
Yes, here would be the clue word to let us know that auditory would best fit there. All right. Any questions about vocabulary search? Just check for meaning. Okay. All right. Comprehension. This is the end goal of reading. Our phonemic awareness practice, phonics, and vocabulary all leads to the big goal of comprehending, because we know that we want our students to become great readers. We want them to become strong readers. And we do that by making sure we have strong comprehension skills. All right. So what is comprehension? It's the ability to understand what is being read based on the text genre. This is an example of what it looks like in action. All right. As I stated before, in grades K through 5, the students participate in Wonders curriculum, and it's a curriculum that we use to help teach our comprehension skills and strategies so that we can get students to meet those standards. All right. So this is an example. Again, I'm not going to go through it all, but I just want to point out that it has the standard here. This is a 5th grade standard. Compare and contrast 2 or more characters, settings, or events in a story or drama, drawing on specific details in the text. For example, how characters interact. And what this really means, mom and dad, is that fifth graders would have to be able to compare or contrast two texts on a fifth grade level. They have to be able to read those texts and tell how they are alike and how they are different. All right. And here are reading thinking steps or strategies to help students meet that standard. So first thing we want to do is identify characters in the passages, determine how to best describe characters, looking at what they say and do. Produce your description word for each character. We want to make sure, again, we're giving them lots of exposures to different words that we can use to describe characters. We're going to stay in fifth grade. We get a lot of, we don't want, just happy or sad, but we want, words that are actually pinpoint exactly how that character is feeling. And to give evidence, why do you think this character is feeling this way? What actions do you see in the text that make you make that decision? And then, of course, determine how characters are similar and different. All right. Uh-oh. All right. And then how do we know they know it? Do we have time to actually let them work through this, or do we want to just point out we have time to let them actually read through? Okay. All right. So parents.
Wait, before you do that, really quickly, we have another parent that just joined us. So thank you for being here. If you would let us know who you are and who your children are. We want to make sure they get credit for their PBIS points. And thank you for joining us. All right, Ms. Purefoy, I think we're ready.
Okay. All right. So I want you all to read the passage Mars Day 1 by Clarissa Morgan. You're going to read the passage, and then I want you to try to take a stab at the comprehension questions numbers 1 and 2. So I'm going to give you maybe, 3 minutes to read? Okay. All right, we have about 1 minute remaining. Okay. So how are Anna and Ming different based on what we read in this text? Anna is nervous, but Ming is excited. Ming is friendly, but Anna is shy. Ming is more prepared for life on Mars than Anna. Anna is more aware of Mars's dangers than Ming. What do you guys think? You can put it in the chat or you can come off mute.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I can't read it because it was really blurry to me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I was trying my best to read.
Okay. Okay. See if I can make it
Now,
bigger.
what we could do is we can read it out loud if needs be, because it is small for me without, my age is telling
Here,
on
let me
itself.
see. Uh-oh, hold on.
I think I'm going to, you want me to try to read it?
Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay. You want to, oh, I gave the answer. I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked the answer.
It's
But
okay.
the answer is A. Anna is nervous, but Ming is excited. All right. Someone picked C. Ming is more prepared for life on Mars. The Anna, that is correct. That is actually correct. She's been there more, but the answer is A because it tells us about their actual character. How are Anna and Ming different? All right. Do we have any other ones? Okay.
I,
How are Go ahead.
I don't know if they were able to read the passage because it's little on our side.
Okay,
That's
let
why I
me
was
see.
saying you might want to read it out loud.
Okay. My breath fogged up my helmet as I stepped cautiously onto the dusty red ground. I felt strangely light and almost fell. Careful, Anna, my dad said, smiling. Gravity is much weaker here. Great, I mumbled, something else to adjust to. I was already nervous about living on Mars, and the more I learned about it, the more anxious I felt. We had to do everything differently. Even using the bathroom was weird. Plus, life on Mars is dangerous. We have to wear spacesuits outside. If one is damaged, it starts losing oxygen, which endangers the person inside. Also, a major dust storm could damage the settlement. And even though there are 2 doctors here, we have limited medical supplies. If someone gets sick or injured, we may not be able to help him or her. Worrying about all these possibilities, I followed my parents toward a series of white domes connected by tunnels. Compared to the homes on Earth, the domes looked small and plain. When we got to our rooms, my parents began unpacking happily, but I sat on my bed and tried not to cry. I knew this colony was a great achievement for humankind, but I just felt isolated and afraid. Then someone knocked on the door to the main hallway, and I opened it to find a smiling girl with dark hair. Hi, I'm Ming, and I'm excited to have another girl my age in the settlement. I know we'll be great friends. Come on, I'll show you around. She gave me a tour of the greenhouse, research, laboratory, gym, school, and her cozy room. Ming's enthusiasm was contagious, and I smiled at my new friend, thinking that Mars might not be so bad after all. Okay. All right, so let's take a stab at number 2. How are Anna and Ming similar? They both think the settlement looks small and plain. They both feel anxious about living on Mars. They are both new to the Mars settlement. They are both glad to have met each other. You can unmute or answer in the chat.
D.
D, they are both glad to have met each other. All right. Thank you, Miss Wallace and Miss Beasley. Okay, I see someone else typing. Thank you, Melissa. Very good. Very good. So you see that, yes, snaps. This is an example of a passage that tests their comprehension of comparing or contrasting characters. Now, I spoke earlier about actually comparing and contrasting 2 different passages. This example did not give that. This example gave comparison and contrasting the 2 characters within one text. But we want to make sure that they're able to do both. Okay. All right. So, does anyone have any questions about any of our literacy curriculums that we went over today? Heggerty, 95 core phonics, vocabulary surge, or wonders? Okay.
So parents, don't be shy. Any questions or any inquiries? I
Comments?
encourage you to come see it in action, because to see it with the movements and the learning, it is amazing to see our kiddos engaged with it. They love it. They absolutely do.
And Ms. Purifoy, if you wouldn't mind, is there a way that we can go back to the slide? I think it was number 3 with the babies and the YouTube videos. I
Okay.
think the audio wasn't working, so
Oh,
we promised
okay.
that we would.
And it was just low. So if maybe you can cut your
Low.
volume up,
Okay.
because one of
Okay.
the
Yeah,
parents couldn't
I'm
hear.
gonna try again. Yeah, my volume is on 100. Let me try. I think it may have been recorded low. Let me try.
And
again.
I'll also
Just a
share the
second.
YouTube links from the presentation in the chat as well.
Okay. Okay. Here, let's get here. Let's go with Miss Olivia.
So those who joined late, these are actually our pandas. Hold on one second, Miss
Okay.
Beautiful. These are actually our pandas sharing what they're learning at school.
And Olivia is a kindergarten student who is doing very well. She actually volunteered to talk to me about what she's learning in Heggerty. And right now in kindergarten, we're learning to identify that medial sound or that vowel sound. And she's doing a roller coaster because that's the one of the hand motions that we use to point out the vowel sound. All right. So she's going to do that really quickly. Hold on, let me pull it back.
So can you show them the motorcycle really quickly? That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. So the motorcycle is when they add or substitute sounds or graphemes or phonemes. I'm sorry. And what they do is they say something like, say sunset, and then they go sunset, and then take away sun and make and add rise. So it would go sunrise, or say sunrise, sunrise, take away rise, change rise to fire. So they go sunfire. It's a chain. Like they're excited because they're using a motorcycle to have some movement, but it's also helping them have that kinesthetic practice to remember how to substitute or change the phoneme or the syllable in the word. All right. Any other? Oh, okay. Let's try with 95 core and wonders. Let's listen to them. All right, so that's just a snippet that shows what they're actually learning in vocabulary surge and wonders. Again, wonders has very engaging text. The students really love the literature and informational text that they're reading in wonders. So it helps to keep them engaged as they're learning those comprehension skills. And I will too. I will add these to the chat. I guess I can put them in the chat, the links to the videos, so you guys can watch them if you like. Is that okay?
They're already in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Freeman. Okay. All right. And I am going to add our survey.
And Miss Freeman added it already as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. This is my shameless plug for our evaluation.
Okay.
As we are a Title I school, we are required to have these workshops um, a couple of times a year, but we actually at Brookview go over and beyond because first, such amazing instructors and they give us such amazing knowledge, and we want to share that with our parents. And we thank you for your participation tonight and your engagement and wanting to try these activities. Please remember that we have an amazing parent resource center at Brookview where you can actually come inside and look around and check out materials that you can use at home with your students as well to support learning. So in the link, thank you, Ms. Wallace, in the chat, I'm sorry, we have dropped the evaluation link. And that basically just says, Ms. Purefoy did an amazing job and we are appreciative for.
And she froze, right?
Workshop.
Yeah.
You froze for a second, but you're back now.
I'm sorry. The workshop, it'll be a drop-down menu and you will pick literacy workshop. So once again, I put the QR code in the chat. You can scan it with your phone and I will share it also with this video and will be posted on our Brookview YouTube page. And I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to turn it over to Principal Wallace.
So I also want to make you aware that we have quite a few things happening this week. So we want your kids to be at school every single day and on time. Number one,